Look at this cool rock. Anyway, this is what Australia used to look like 20,000 years ago before the ice caps melted. Do you notice anything different? Yeah, that white part is what it looks like now. About 1/3 of the land was actually lost when the sea level rose. Do you know what that means? Well, when people were first colonising Australia, they had to get here by island hopping across the Asian islands, but also crossing this 80-kilometre stretch called the Wallace Trench, which separates Australia and Asia's fauna. Since the sea level has risen so much, the places that those very first seafaring people touched down and colonised Australia are now underwater, which means that the site I'm about to tell you about is really, really old, but it's most likely a lot younger than these sites that are now underwater, so keep that in mind while you watch this. Right, so up here at the top of Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory is a piece of land where the Mirarr people have lived for thousands of years. In the 1970s, the Mirarr people led archaeologists to a sandstone rock shelter, which you can see behind me, that they knew was an important place, and the first excavations were carried out in 1973 by archaeologist Johan Kaminga. He found a rich shell midden in the top 60 centimetres that also had stone artefacts, animal bones, and human remains deposited within. Now, this is a shell midden behind me. It's not from the site we're talking about, but just an example to show you how big these can be. Anyway, they kept digging down to about 2.5 metres, but after the midden they found just loose sediment that only contained stone artefacts, and this was dated to about 30,000 years ago, and at the time, in the 70s, this was a huge deal. See, a lot of people, including some archaeologists, believed that the dates were wrong, that the sampling must have been incorrect, and many people refused to believe that Aboriginal people had been in Australia for that long. 15 years later, a guy named Rhys Jones conducts a second excavation which did not confirm these original dates of 30,000 years, but actually pushed the occupation back to 50,000 years ago. For the same reasons as the previous excavation, this was also very controversial, with the added problem that this flew in the face of the data of the out of Africa theory. See, in the 1980s, 50,000 years ago, people were believed to have only just have been leaving Africa, so how could they possibly be in Australia so fast? There were quite a few criticisms levelled at Rhys Jones and the techniques he used and the methods used in the dig, and the debate raged on until 2018 when Chris Clarkson headed back to Mudgee Beebe once again. The results were published in 2017 in Nature, and using modern technologies showed that not only was 30,000 wrong, not only was 50,000 too early, but the site has a minimum occupation age of 65,000 years ago. For comparison, one of the earliest Mesopotamian cities on Earth is the city of Ur, and this is only 5,800 years old. Take Göbekli Tepe, often described as mind-blowingly old, at 12,000 years old. Anyway, more than 11,000 artefacts were recovered from this dig, including ochre pencils that were directly used to paint the walls of the rock shelter, and this thylacine jaw, or extinct Tasmanian tiger, which you can see right next to me. Not only that, the team found a 65,000-year-old ground Stone Age axe, which makes it the oldest on Earth by about 20,000 years. You still want more? What about the oldest seed grinding technology ever found anywhere in Australia? There is just so much to this site. Anyway, I can't squeeze any more into a 3-minute video, so let me leave you with this. If this site right here is 65,000 years old at least, then how much older are the ones that are now underwater all the way out here?